Hey, welcome back to Vintage on Vintage. I'm Steve, and it's been a while since I have made a video. I think I posted my last video about 13 days ago, and in all honesty, that video I'd actually been sitting on for a week or so. So it's been close to a month since I've made a video. Since the National, we have just been on the go, like go, go, go. My youngest daughter, Samantha, who lives in Denver, is going to move to Arlington, Virginia. She's actually flying out there tonight to live with my youngest daughter, Kate. So my wife and I, we flew out to Denver right after the National to help her pack her pot up to get it ready for the move. And then we came back home where there was a family event. I have a nephew who's getting married, and there was a showers, and all my daughters were in town. And then we went from there up to South Haven, Michigan for a family week on the beach. And that week was a really exciting week because our oldest daughter, Elizabeth, got engaged, which is super exciting. We're all super happy for her and her now fiance, Jeremy. Jeremy's a great young guy. We're so excited to have him as part of the family. And my wife and daughter, they're really excited to plan a wedding. So that was a really, really great time. And then as soon as they left, my wife and I packed up the car the following day, and we headed to Virginia. So we made it as far as Pittsburgh, where we stopped for the night. We had some dinner. I did find a baseball card shop there that I had a chance to jump into the next day, because the next day we had some time to kill before we needed to be in Virginia. So we visited a couple towns along the way and found a second baseball card shop, which was a little bit of fun. We got into Virginia, had dinner with my daughter. The next day, we packed up her apartment, moved it over. We emptied my daughter's pod, moved it over, got them all moved in. It was a long, hard day, but we got it done. And then we took off, and we made it probably 3 hours into Pittsburgh, not into Pittsburgh, into Pennsylvania, where we decided to spend the night. We got up the next morning and headed back to Chicago. We hadn't been home in a while. We got there right before Labor Day weekend. We had enough time to go shopping and buy some supplies for Labor Day and my fantasy football draft. So we went back up to South Haven, Michigan, had a great Labor Day weekend. It was beautiful weather. We enjoyed ourselves. And then the following Thursday, we hosted our 46th annual fantasy football draft. So, and it was a blast. I had 16 or 17 people show up. They showed up Thursday. Most of them left Monday. We had a great time, played some golf, played some poker, played some liar's dice, drafted some players, gave each other a hard time while we watched the games. It was a great time, but hosting that many people is a lot of work. So after everybody left, my wife and I were pretty beat, but we had a ton of cleanup to do. So we cleaned up for a couple days. We headed back home to Chicago here because we haven't been home in a while, but we decided we're going to turn around tomorrow and head back up to South Haven, because for the next 4 to 6 days, there's supposed to be 80-degree weather. And when you get this late in the year in the Midwest, you don't want to pass on a great beach day. So we're going to head back up there starting tomorrow morning, but I think I have enough time here to make a video. So as far as cards go, I haven't been buying a lot of cards for me. I have bought a lot of cards. I am trying to build another submission for Greg Morris cards. I think, I've told you guys in the past, I was able to build a pretty good war chest for both Strongsville and the National with a couple of Greg Morris submissions last year. I've been focusing on trying to do that, and I haven't really been focusing on cards that I want to keep for the collection. That said, I do have about 9 cards that I want to share with you. I was able to, during the course of all these travels, I saw a card store both in Pittsburgh, another one in Virginia. There was a card shop in New Buffalo, Michigan, another one in Holland, Michigan, and an antique shop, of course, in South Haven, Michigan that I always hit. So, and from there, I did pick up some cards that I'm pretty excited to share with you guys. So enough of me chatting, and let's take a look at the cards that I'm going to keep, the ones that I want to share with you guys. So just hold tight while I flip this camera. So it's been so long since I made a video that I haven't had a chance to share my last Bargain Hunters pickup. If you remember at the National, John P. Collects Cards, and I had 2 days, Thursday and Friday, and a $40 budget to pick up Al Kaline. And this is the card I picked up at the National for 35 bucks, and it is the 1961 Al Kaline All-Star card. I love these cards. I've always loved these, and the 1970s. I love the way the newspaper and the players pop. They're just some of my favorites. In 61, these were more high series, so they're a little harder to find, and I thought I got a really nice version. And I'm excited to have this one. I'll definitely probably be sending this one off for grading. Our next Bargain Hunters, by the way, is Whitey Ford. We have a budget of 50 bucks, and we do have a guest going to do the chase with us, and this guest is really good at finding bargains. So I'm not going to tell you who it is. That's my little teaser, but we're in the midst of picking up our cards, so I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks that we will have what we need to shoot the Whitey Ford Bargain Hunters. So stay tuned for that one. Then I told you that we stopped in Pittsburgh, and the next day I stopped in at this place. It's a specialty Sports World Specialties. It's not far from the ballpark. It's right there in downtown Pittsburgh. And what I found was they have a lot of really nice cards, some high-end graded cards, really beautiful cards, and they also have some really high-quality ungraded cards. From a price perspective, they're priced fairly high or right at market value. So when I was looking for stuff to buy and resell, there wasn't anything there that I thought I could make a profit on. But I did find one card that I wanted to take home for the collection. And that card is this 1970 Wilt Chamberlain Tall Boy. I love these cards, and I'm a huge Wilt Chamberlain fan. I've been looking for this card for a while. This one's in really good shape. It's fairly well centered left to right, top to bottom's not too bad. The corners are pretty sharp. Not a cheap card. But, like I said, I've been looking for it for a while. I'm really excited to have this one. Definitely going to get it graded. And I was really happy to pick this one up at that store. Then we went on our way to Arlington, we stopped at another shop in Virginia. And there I did find some cards that I think I can resell. And I found one card that I couldn't walk away from. And I'm hoping... I'd love to get your opinions. Tell me, am I an idiot here for buying this card? What would have you done? But I saw this card sitting in the case, right? And this is, a Stan Musial Red Heart. But you can tell right away that it's been trimmed, right? Both sides and top have been trimmed. You can also see that it's got a wrinkle. It doesn't go all the way through. But, it's a trimmed card. And I knew it right away. And they were asking 50 bucks at the time. And I looked at it and I hemmed and hawed, and then I gave it back to the guy. And then right before I left, the guy said he could do 40 on it. And, I know it's a trimmed card, but it's a beautiful picture of Mr. Musial, right? So, for the price of a blaster box, I got a trimmed Stan Musial Red Heart, and I couldn't leave it there. I know eventually I want to get a better version of this, but this card, I just felt like it needed to come home with me. So I spent 40 bucks on it, and I would love to know, and I won't be offended if you tell me I'm an idiot. I would love to know, your thoughts, whether you would have picked this up. But anyway, that was the card that I picked up that I was going to keep. So I kept that card. And then, like I told you, I have been hitting some card shops along the way. So, and most of those card shops, I picked up cards that I intend to resell, but I think I kept one from each card shop. So this is the one in Holland, Michigan. In Holland, Michigan, they had a box full of, 1955 Bowmans, and some of them were in pretty good shape. And I saw this Vern Stevens, and if you've watched my channel, I'm a huge fan of Vern Stevens. So I couldn't let this one go. I grabbed it for, I want to say $5 or $6, and I was really happy to have another Vern Stevens in the collection. When I was up in Grand Rapids, Michigan at the card shop, the one card that I decided to keep, I originally was going to resell this, but I just kept looking at it and I decided I'm going to keep it. It's the Henry Aaron, 72 Henry Aaron in action, and look how crisp this card is. These cards are notoriously hard to find centered. This one isn't as well centered as the Maze I picked up a while back, and it got a 7 when I graded it. But this is a crisp card. It's got a beautiful picture. I need it for my Henry Aaron run. So I've decided I'm going to keep this. And, I think when I grade it, I'm thinking this is minimally a 5, but I'm thinking this is a 6. I think this will come back a 6. And it's just a really cool card of Henry jogging the bases after hitting a homer. In New Buffalo, I found some cards there that I wanted to sell, and I found one card that I wanted to keep, and it's this beautiful 1962 Carl Yastrzemski. This is a cool card. I've always loved this card. Yaz with the 3 bats over his shoulder. It's just a really, really pretty card, and this is in pretty good shape for 62. So I saw it. I knew I had to have it, so I grabbed that card and take that one home. Then there is the antique store when I was in South Haven, and I saw this card, and initially I was going to sell it, but and that's this 1952 Redmen of Nellie Fox. And like I said originally, I thought I would try to sell this, and I got home and I just couldn't stop looking at this card. I love the picture here. Shout out to my good friend Jason, Everyday Card Collector, and Mitchell, White Sox fan card collector. I know they'll be fans of this one. But quite honestly, this is my favorite Nellie Fox card, I think. So I've decided I'm going to keep this one. I will definitely grade it. It's in really good shape. It's a beautiful card. Really cool card. And then I actually stopped by to get some supplies at my LCS today. I found a couple cards I think I can make a profit on, and one card I'm going to keep. And that card I'm going to keep is this 1961 Frank Robinson. Look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. It's just a great picture. Centering's really strong on this card. Just a beautiful card. I'm a big Frank Robinson fan. I think he's an underrated ball player. And I love this card. So I was happy to pick that one up. And then I have a couple eBay purchases along the way. If you watched my last SGC reveal, it was the 1969 Topps set, the first set I ever owned. I've decided I want to make the Hall of Fame run there, so I picked up a couple cards to help close that gap. The first one I picked up is this Ron Santo in an SGC4. Look at this card. Like, you tell me why that's a 4. I have no idea. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. And the great thing about it being a 4 is I got this card for $15. So with shipping, it was like $20 total, tax and shipping. You can't even grade the card for 15. So I love this card. I think it's absolute beauty. And I was really excited to add that. And then for a few bucks more, and quite a few bucks more, but not a ton, I found this beauty. This 1969 Topps Willie Stargell in a 7.5. And, I'm a big Stargell fan. I need more of his cards in my collection. I think I only have 2 graded. But this is a beauty, and it helps me, once again, close the gap. I do have a couple ungraded cards that I've won via auction that will be showing up, but that's for another video. And I do have an SGC submission that came back while we were gone. It's daughter, who was home at the time, signed for it. So it's I'll be doing another SGC video here in the future. But that's it for this. This is what I've been up to for the last month. These are the cards that I've picked up. You know, I appreciate anybody who's taken the time to watch this video, or anybody who's taken the time to sub this channel. I really appreciate it. Until we talk again, stay safe. Keep collecting. We'll talk to y'all soon.